Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Anandamayi meditation program, our Thursday night gathering, satsang. So you get to gather in the company of the truth. And, of course, you're the embodiment of the truth. So thank you for coming, bringing your sublime divine self and your commitment to practice. So important these days. So thank you for bringing all that you are to this evening. Tonight is the chanting night, so we're going to be getting into doing more chanting. And we get to start with the opening mantras at chant. And that's a way of, just inviting the mind to now take a back seat for the next hour and a half or so. It really doesn't have to do much. And it's been busy all this day and for so many days throughout our lives. So it can appreciate a time to just take a rest, just sit back. And then in the quiet, in the spaciousness of being that holds the mind, we can become aware of that spaciousness, that infinitude of being holding the mind and inviting it, let go. What is it going to let go into? It's going to let go into the divine embrace. So inviting. So it can just rest there, and mantra helps it to come to that state of just simply being. So we'll start with the opening mantras. Shri Mata Kali Mahadevi Ki Jai Gajananam Bhuta Ganari Sevitam Kalpita Jambu Palacharu Bhakshanam Umasutam Shokam Vinashakarakam Namami Vigneshwara Parapankajam Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamandaya Purnamevavashishate Om Shanti 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 Shri Mata Kali Mahadevi Ki Jai. So once again, with all my heart, with all my love, I welcome you to our program this evening. Thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing the fullness of your being, yourself, your sublime nature. Because tonight, we're going to be doing chants. And chanting as a practice is both for ourselves and how it transforms the body and mind and helps it to get free of suffering. But it's also a sublime practice for putting out that highest vibration, that highest energy into the world, and especially at a time when it's so desperately needed. So making use of mantra and chant so that we both shift our state and then from that state be able to be more skillful, more loving, more compassionate, more generous, more kind, live these into the world. So it's not just about transforming sort of the inner environment, it's about then also transforming the outer environment and having ourselves empowered by our highest nature. And that's where the boundless qualities that Buddha talked about, the boundless wisdom, the boundless compassion, the boundless joy, the unshakable equanimity, bring those into the world so that we can support the world changing, transforming. And so tonight we dedicate the practices and the chants to all beings suffering everywhere. We have in our hearts and our minds the people throughout India and suffering with COVID, dying of COVID. We have our hearts, the people in the Middle East suffering and dying. We have in our hearts the people throughout Africa suffering and dying. Every continent, the United States, people suffering and dying so needlessly in a country that has so much. So we really want to invoke what our highest nature is, experience that, live that into the world, and be empowered. And be empowered to then move that into the halls of power, right, where things have to change. Right? And we want to be in our fullness of self, highest self, empowered by that, so we can walk in with the clarity of vision, with the strength of wisdom, with the unshakable equanimity, so we don't get just tossed around by our own inner reactivity. So much happening, easy to get caught in that. So the practices have a very practical basis as well for dialing us into those sources of strength within us, so that we can then live that into the world, live dharma, live right living, taking care of others, being compassionate, kind, generous, empowered by practice, and through practice, the direct knowing of the truth of who we are and the truth of all beings. No matter what they're doing, they're all divine. We want to be able to see that even as we make corrections in actions, policies, behaviors, whatever we're taking on. Right? We want to do it with the fullness of vision. And mantra and chanting is a great practice for being able to keep the mind in its highest nature. Right? And so mantra we can do any time, any place. And we've talked a lot about how Kundalini Shakti is the root of mantra, this power of consciousness to reveal the highest so that we can know the highest. This power of consciousness that's beyond the ordinary mind, because the ordinary mind gets caught in its domain. So this Shakti, this Kundalini Shakti that comes through mantras, that's the power of grace. That's the power of the infinite bestowing grace. Known in every tradition. You know, that's a Sanskrit term, Kundalini, and terms like anugraha and grace, meaning grace that we talked about last week. But every tradition knows this. Every tradition knows, and its highest, most sublime level, the mystics know that when we merge in the infinite, then we see the infinite everywhere, and we want to treat all beings and all of creation with that love and that reverence. And we want to see that aligned in our actions, but everywhere. So mantra is a way of empowering that. So we're going to start off this evening with a particular chant, and this is a chant to Ma. Bhajamana Maa, Ma, Ma. Because when you're in pain, who do you call? Ma, 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 help. So we're going to be doing chants this evening that are particularly invocative of the power to heal, the power to really transform both our experience and the world. So calling on Ma. Later we'll do another great mantra. It's called the Death Defying Mantra, the mantra to Shiva, Tayambakam Yajamahe. So we'll go into that mantra. We'll also draw on a great chant and mantra from the Buddhist tradition, calling on the great mother Tara in that chant. So it's all about healing people we love, people we know, ourselves, and the world, so that this power, this energy that we're putting out into the universe tonight, for all beings, may all beings truly be free of suffering. So with all our hearts, with all our love, that's what we endeavor to recreate in this world. So we're going to start with this chant of Bhajamana Maa, Maa, Maa. Bhajamana Maa. Bhajamana Maa means, oh my mind, sing Maa, Maa. Sing Maa. It's calling on the great mother. Anandamayi Maa. Anandamayi was a great saint, but the word Anandamayi means that blissful loving. She joyously holds all beings in her embrace, joyously removes the suffering of all beings. Bhajamana Maa, Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. So we'll chant that for a few minutes and then just sit in some stillness before we do another chant. So here we begin. Bhajamana Maa, 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 Maa. 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 Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Bhajamana Maa, 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 Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Bhajamana Maa, 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 Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Bhajamana Maa, 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 Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Bhajamana Maa, 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 Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Maa. Bhajamana Maa, 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 Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Bhajamana Maa, 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 Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Bhajamana Maa, 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 Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Bhajamana Maa, 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 Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Bhajamana Maa, 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 Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Maa, Bhajamana Maa, 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 Maa. Anandamayi Maa, Anandamayi Maa, Bhajamana Maa, 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 Bhajamana Maa, 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 refuge in Ma, in her sublime gifts of mantra, a throb of her essence. So this next mantra, the ancient mantra, goes all the way back to the Rig Veda, thousands of years. And it's a mantra that invokes the infinite. Trayambakam yajame, Trayambakam, the three-eyed one. That's Lord Shiva. But it's Lord Shiva who's also Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva, the three. The Godhead, the infinite, beyond name and form. Amba is also the mother. So it's also the great Shakti. It's the great mother, the threefold mother. So we have Saraswati Devi, Mahalakshmi Devi, Gauri Devi. So we're calling on all there is to set us free. It's known as the Death Defying Mantra because it's to set one free of suffering, to be healed, but also to be healed of the deepest level of the cause of suffering. And what is that? That's that ignorance. That's not knowing the truth of who we are. And not knowing that, we flail about and create suffering for everyone, not just ourselves. What's the cause of suffering in the world? Seeing others where there is no other, instead of seeing the self. They're all one. That's what this mantra is calling. Open that third eye of wisdom. Open that freedom that comes with that, so we can lovingly embrace all as our own self. So we can do no harm, because who's there to harm? There is no other. There's only the self. Locked in that ignorance, locked in that separation of others, people get caught in all those then dynamics that come from that. Domination, exploitation. It's horrible. We need the wisdom of true knowing, the wisdom, the essence of our true humanity. To truly know is to truly be human. Our humanity goes from all the way, from the highest reaches of the infinite, the divine, right down to the Muladhara Chakra, the earth principle, this world. Knowing that, then on all those levels, we can bring that into this world. Bring that love. Bring that generosity. Bring that right use of power, that right use of wealth, that right use of influence, to uplift, to remove suffering. So in this great mantra, the Death Defying Mantra, we're invoking the infinite to heal and free us of all forms of bondage, including that root ignorance, and free all others from all forms of dis-ease and suffering. So we chant with that open heart to all, because all is who you are. All is who you are. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhi Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanam Mityor Mokshi Amamritat. So we'll be chanting this mantra and just go into that. As you're chanting that, just imagine so that you're attuning yourself to this extraordinary power of the current of grace flowing through the sound into this world, going to all beings in need, everywhere, in need of relief from suffering.
Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva
Varukamivam Bandanan Mrityormokshi Imamritarom Drambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Bandanan Mrityormokshi Imamritarom Drambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamivam Bandanan Nityormokshi 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 Imamritarom Drambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiv bandhanam mrityormokshimamritarom Trambakam 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 yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiv bandhanam Shiva, Shiva, Mahadev. Oh, Mahadev, free all beings from suffering, free all beings from all sources of suffering, free all beings from death and even the fear of death. Oh, Mahadev, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Now invoking the Great Mother, Tara Maa. Tara Maa. It goes by so many names. So many names. Ma, Ma. All cultures, all religions. Ma, the Divine Mother. The ultimate refuge. This chant. Om Tere, Tu Tere, Tore Soha. Chant that invokes Tara, all her forms, all her blessings, to remove suffering, to remove disease. Oh Tara Maa, Jai Jai Tara Maa. So we'll chant this mantra now for a few minutes, and then at the end, just sit in the stillness. Sit in the stillness. Sit in the divine embrace. If the mind moves, let it move with mantra. And know that you're in this cloud of love that is the divine embrace. The divine embrace that holds every cell in your body, every thought in your mind, all your past, all your future, all held by the divine. And we'll chant Om Tere, Tu Tere, Tore Soha, and then rest in that stillness. Om Dare Tu Dare Tore Soha. 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 Om Dare Tu Dare Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re So Ha. 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 So we'll close with this chant, invoking the Great Mother. Om Kali Maa, Kali Namo Namah. O Great Mother, Kali, I bow to you. Om Kali Maa, Kali Namo Namah. Om Kali Maa, Kali So we end with this prayer. And may all our practices truly benefit everyone. And may all beings know complete freedom from suffering. Namaste. So we invoke the highest nature of our own being, our own self of all, that we may know that and have the power, the love, the strength, the steadiness of wisdom, the equanimity, the freedom from reactivity, so we can walk this into the world, transform the world, uplift the world. So our practices truly are for the benefit of all, as well as transforming the mind and body into better instruments of the divine, better carriers of the infinite grace of our own self, our own highest living presence of the divine within. So thank you for coming. Thank you for being one who is committed to those kinds of practices, who's committed to living the fullness of your glorious being, your glorious nature, your divine, sublime nature, living it into the world and all the relationships and all the activities that you do. This is the Great Mother. She's the web of life. And we're all these jewels strung on that web. So we want to be radiant with that love, that presence, that grace of being. Bring that into the world. So thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for practicing, walking this into the world. So with all my heart, with all my love, I thank you again for coming this evening and sharing the power of who you are with the world. I look forward to seeing you next week.